All right, thank you, Franny, for the music. I'm gonna try to go as long as my voice lasts. I've been sick as a dog, and I was clear that I was gonna be done with this by Wednesday, and then Thursday woke up and I was throwing up stuff, and then like today I'm feeling like 50% there. So I'm hoping I can have enough energy to make it through here. Uh, Before we start some blessings, I want to frame our thought because sometimes in agent attraction we forget a few things. We get so many great stuff and we get so many great tools, and they have the toolkit now that has like a bunch of stuff in there. And I remember when I first came into EXP, I went to an event and there was a guy there and he was handing out a book. And the book, before he started talking, they talked about him and how he had grown a multi-level marketing company and had something like 300,000 people in his organization. And I was thinking like, I'd love to get 100, 300,000. I was like, surely he's got something that'll teach me how to get to 100 or even 1,000, right? I was like, but 300,000 was bigger than our whole organization. I couldn't even make that number work in my head, right? Um, but he handed out this book, and the book actually talked about a bunch of different multi-level marketing companies. And the one that he was with, I was like, man, that seems like a really hard one. If he can put 300,000 in that one, surely I can put a dent in this one, right? And his book was called Building an Empire. And interestingly enough, in that book, he actually talks about EXP Realty model and why he believes that it is the model of the future. And that book was written probably about 5, 6 years ago. But he wrote something in that book that's really stuck with me. And I really hope that you guys write this down right now. In the book Building an Empire, he writes, you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. So I want to break that down. I want to kind of go over some points I think that would be very valuable in your agent attraction model for some people who may not be doing it in a way that actually serves them, right? So a lot of people want to build agent attraction, but the model, the way you think about this has to be right before all the other pieces go in place, right? So that first part is you don't build a business, you build people. Well, the first thing what that means is everybody gets tied up. Well, I need a VA or I need to like have a CRM and I need to have all these things. And they start thinking about it in a metric or they think about it in a business model rather than thinking about how do I build people? How do I lift people up? How do I be the person that congratulates them? How am I can be the person that offers a value that puts more money in their pocket? In other words, how do I be a servant leader to agents who are not part of my organization?
Mm.
Further you go into that quote, and I'm going to say it again, you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. I can tell you in my personal journey, as I started bringing people in the EXP, I realized that there's it was going to be impossible for me to get to a number of 10,000 people or something of that nature if I didn't help the people that were coming in become a better agent. And what that really showed me along the way is as I helped other people around me grow, even if they weren't even in my organization sometimes, right? Sometimes they were in a sister organization or they were like cousins to my line or something like that. Being able to offer value to them showed up. And what happens is, and I think I shared this a long time ago, was people are going to resist what I show them. But if someone else shows them, or if they read it on their own, they're going to have a little bit more belief. And that's where third party validation comes into place. But lastly, if they believe it themselves, then they're already coming on board, right? So I actually started using this old philosophy in how I started recruiting to people. And this week I had the pleasure of talking to three agents that a couple of you guys on this call, actually introduced me to. And I just wanted to let you guys know if you've ever been on a three-way call with me, what to expect and how to get the most out of it, right? So my goal is to help to build them, right? When they get on a call with me, if Sandra, you send me somebody to talk to, I'm going to talk to them and just find out what the story is. I'm going to ask them, hey, what were your goals in real estate? If they were a newer agent, meaning that they were in the last 3 years, just out of curiosity, why did you get your license in the first place? What were you hoping to do? I might even ask him, just out of curiosity, who told you you'd be great at real estate? Do you remember who that was? Usually everybody has somebody that if you think about, someone said, hey, you should consider doing real estate. If I'm able to help you grow your business, who do you got to go back and thank later on? and I write that person's name down. And I ask them what their goals are. And I ask them, just out of curiosity, do you feel like you're on track to crush that goal? What's changed recently? What are you willing to change? And what you find is that when you're sitting down with an agent, you've got to hold a role, two roles. You've got to work on becoming a detective until you can find enough solutions and find enough value that you can offer them over a nurturing period where you can be considered a doctor and prescribe them a solution. Sometimes that happens in one call. Sometimes that happens over several calls. Sometimes it happens over a call with several visits and then an invitation to a major event. If you're writing notes down right now, I can't make this clear right now. We've got some great opportunities for you to start this process for you, because I'm going to tell you, real estate ends in about 60 days for 2025. I know the calendar says we've got 100 something days left, but not for us. That's not the truth. Listen, if we need 30, 45 days to close a deal, and I don't know, somebody tell me how many days there are left in this year. I think like 105, 110, somewhere like that. I'm sure you can Google how many days left in the year. You subtract 40 days from that. That's all you got. And by the way, if you want to get enough money to close and have gifts under the tree, you got to close them by December 20th, December 15th. So you got to shopping, or maybe you want to go about Black Friday. Like, you don't have much time left. You got about 30 or 40 days to rock this year out. Did somebody Google it, by the way? How many days do we actually have left of this year? 104? It's less than I thought. Time's running out. And I will tell you, there's something exciting and scary about time running out. Like, it's like that feeling you've got when you didn't study very much until the last day before the test. And you're like, I have to pass this test, right? And you have a fury, like that few days before you're going on a long vacation, you know you're going to lose touch and you got to work your tail off. You got to work your tail off. There's 60 days left of this year, as far as I'm concerned. You got a few weeks to talk to as many agents as possible, to do as many deals as possible. And what a glorious time to do that. There's a shimmer of hope in the air that we haven't had. I mean, we just came out of the worst year in real estate since 1995, and you made it through. You're still here. Maybe you've taken advantage of some new lead generation systems the company's offering. Maybe you stayed inspired. You plugged in. Your real estate energy was on 100%. Maybe you just made it through with 65%. Maybe you barely made it through. Now's the time to recharge it. Now's the time to attract as many people into your organization that you can build a business together. I can tell you it's a lot better to build a business with people locked in with you, where all of you are saying to yourself, let's grow. If you've never read the book, Building an Empire, I highly recommend you grab that book. And as you guys know, anytime I tell you guys, when you guys get a book, just buy it used. Don't buy a brand new book. The book's still the same thing when it's used. And typically you can find that book for like $5, $6 in fair condition or something like that. And if you get a chance, if you have Audible and you can read the book while you're listening to the book, it just hits different. You get to hear the author in their voice as you're reading the book, and you understand what they're trying to accomplish. He talks about in the book as well.
If you are a Scan It customer, scan the barcode on your Scan It or Scan It mobile.
Wow, if agent attraction was that, like you could just scan people and just bring them in the business, that would be incredible. He talks about in the book too the importance of planting seeds. And there's something about, if you're a closer, if you're a person that likes to close, planting seeds is not what you like to do. If you're a closer, you're like, I just want to close. I don't want to plant any seeds. That takes too long. Now, if you're on the opposite side, if you're a seed planter, right, meaning that you just drop and you add value all the time, the last thing you want to do is close somebody, because that means you're going to lose potential. You put your friend zone on risk. So you gotta have to buddy up with some people, right? If you're a nurturer by nature, you should be talking to people like me, right? You should be saying, hey, I'd like to introduce you to Gil Ramos, and you're going to tell them about a problem that I had, and here's a couple of problems I had that you can share with them, right? So one problem I had was I wasn't I was a franchisee, an old broker who was really good at his brokerage, but decided to move his brokerage into EXP and had a bunch of challenges along the way. Would it be of value to you if he shares with you how he overcame some of those values? That's how you introduce somebody. Another thing might be, hey, I got a guy. He's a team leader. He's been a team leader for over a decade. He moved his team over into EXP and his business tripled. Would it be of value to you to learn what he learned on how to get his business to the next level and get him in the top 250 in real trends after moving into EXP? Now, I don't know if EXP did it or whatever. I'll let him tell his own story. But would it be of value to you? Would it be of value to you? Like, hey, just out of curiosity, what are your goals this year? What are you trying to do? Well, I'm really trying to get in my luxury business. And would it be of value to you if I can introduce you to our VP of luxury and have them share with you some of the tools that you could be using right now to grow your business? Share with you what's working in luxury right now. Would it be of value to you? Hey, by the way, I've often heard that the top people in any industry, whether you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, whatever, they're always growing. Are you going to a great convention this second half of the year? I'm looking to grow. Do you know of any great conventions? I'm going to one. Which are you going to anyone? I'm going to one over in Miami. It's going to be incredible. They bring the top 1% of agents throughout the country. It's awesome. Would you be interested in going to something like that? I don't even tell them it's an EXP Realty event. I just tell them it's a mastermind. I tell them it's a real estate event. I tell them the top 1% of brokers and agents in the country are going to be there. I tell them it's going to be incredible. And by the way, if you're going, you can get them a buddy pass and get them in for free. And I think that expires like in the next few days. So if you're thinking about going to EXPCon, you need to do that now and register your Explorer Pass to make sure that they can get in for free. Let me go back to this nurturer and closer. Just out of curiosity, tell me, just raise your hand if you think that among the nurturer or closer technique, which one are you? Are you a nurturer? Raise your hand. Are you a closer? Raise your hand. Some of you guys didn't raise your hand. I'm gonna do it again. If you're a nurturer, raise your hand. I just want to see. I want to help. If you're a closer, raise your hand. Okay. Here's the deal. You already know who you are. If you're a closer, you need to be around people that can nurture people. You need to be around people that are naturally gravitating to events. You need to get yourself around those people and help them close in your organization. Some of you guys, people have 5, 10, 15 people in the organization. Some of you got 50, 70 people in the organization. Some of you pushing 100. Right? Find those people in your company and serve them. That's the game. It's not about going out there and just being a closer all the time. It's about helping other people close. And for those of you guys who are nurturers, like if you get somebody on a call, here's what I'm going to do for them. I'm going to give them a coaching session. So, hey, just out of curiosity, how are your goals doing? What could be better? Do you have a coach? I was like, would it be of value with you if I put you on one of my coaching calls? And that's how I like to do it with some people too. It's like you just share, hey, this is my coach. I was like, I can put you on a coaching session or have you listen in on my coaching session, and I'll just do it like a dual coaching session with that person and you. And it seems like this is a value proposition. Like for some of you guys, if you were to get someone on a 3-way call once or twice a week, your business would skyrocket. And that's all it is. It's about introducing someone into the organization to see what's possible. I think about me, Carlos, and Veronica. When Veronica was joining EXP, she owned a Remax brokerage. I owned an exit brokerage. And I want to tell you, her team was probably doing maybe 100 or 200 deals a year. If she told me 300, I would be like, okay, that might be a stretch, but it wasn't 1,000 deals. It wasn't 2,000 deals. What changed? She changed brokerages, but what changed? As you guys know, EXP's tagline is where pros go to grow. It was the masterminds. It was about being around other people. It was about stretching our beliefs. It was understanding that there was another way of doing real estate outside of what we knew in our own brokerages. The collaboration because of the rev share and the stocks and just the ideology of Glenn Sanford overwhelmed our thinking and allowed us to see what was possible. Right? Even Carlos German, when Carlos German actually recruited me into EXP, I was a kind of a jerk. I gotta tell you, he came to me, he's like, "Hey, I'd love to show you this model." Da, 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 and I was like, I actually closed this laptop in this presentation. Say, "Hey, man, if you're looking to grow your business, I can help you. You can join my team and blah blah blah." And I could see how he was suffering in a second, and I became human again. I was like, "Dude, you know what? I'm on my bad. Just tell me about what you're doing." And I kind of blew him off. And then he invited my wife and I to a EXP event, and it happened to be in Vegas, which he knew somehow that I loved going to Vegas with my wife. And he's like, "Hey, there's this event over in Vegas. I know how you and your wife love to go to Vegas and like that." He goes, "I'd love to get you a pass to come see the event." And I was like, "Hey man, I'll think about it." And he followed up with me the next day. "Hey, did you talk to your wife about it?" It's like, "No, no, no, no." And then he just kept on nurturing, kept on nurturing. It's like, "Look, I'll go to the event because I love to go to Vegas for one day."
Hmm.
And within a few hours, I was already convinced that I had to make a shift. Just being in that environment was like, this is different. And if I was being honest with myself, and I could not be honest with Carlos at the moment, I secretly was searching for more. And I ask you guys, who do you know that's not secretly searching for more? You probably don't know anybody. I don't know if you know anybody who somehow deep down in themselves, whether religious or not, are spiritually praying for more. And when you bring somebody down that path in an unselfish way, where you're just leading them to an opportunity to get more, they see you in a different light. I never saw Carlos the same way after that. Carlos, who had a 5-person team, and I had a 100-person office, who, by the way, 2 people out of his team, 2 of them were blood relatives. He only had 3 people on his team as far as I was concerned. No, 2 people on his team, because he was one of the 5. I never saw him the same because he exposed me to more. And that's all I wanted for my family, for my wife, for my kids, for my organization, for my people. I wanted more for them. And he crossed me across the street, brought me into a different market, and I walked up to a few people, and it was clear that they were doing something different. And I wanted some of that. And I couldn't explain it. And I can tell you right now, initially in that meeting, it wasn't about stocks or rev shares or all like that. It was just opening my eyes that people were winning on a higher level that I even knew was possible. And then I started digging. And then I looked at stocks. And by the way, if you guys are holders of stocks right now, keep holding. Because when these interest rates go down, investors will flock into real estate companies, and they already started. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the builders, their stocks have like gone up 30-40%. A lot of this institutional buyers realizing the market's about to shift and they get in early. You've probably noticed that our stock was traveling in that $8-9 range, and now it's in that $11 range, pushing that $12 range. And in my mind, and I'm no like guru or like that, you're going to see that stock go to 18, 25, 45 as the market continues to believe that, okay, the shift in money is going into real estate again. It's a cycle. We're about to hit that cycle. You come out of the worst year, there's a good chance you're going to come into a better year, right? And everything's pointing towards that. You probably already feel that. So here's that last 60 days. Here's that last 60 days. All those agents that are out there in the marketplace right now are thinking to themselves, well, I know what happened last year. And whether they're willing to admit it or not, well, they're probably going to blame the market or they're going to blame the brokerage. But it was probably one of 2 different things. They didn't put enough activity into it. They didn't raise their skills. And they know that, but they won't admit it. And we have an opportunity to take advantage of that by offering them a lighthouse, by offering them an opportunity to see something different. to see more. I hope that you guys hear this message. I hope that you guys ring the bell. For those of you guys who've been on my call for a while, you should have already had a list of people that we should be calling today. We should be contacting people and just checking on them, right? Checking on them as people. How's things going? They recently did a closing. Congratulate them. They, you know, check your notes. Build on them. Build on them. Build on them. And if they're showing any kind of curiosity about like doing something more, build on that. Every state has a director of growth. Your director of growth is there who knows all the models. They know exactly what Coldwell Banker's offering. They know exactly what Sotheby's or Element or KW. They know. And they know how to actually put our model in front of somebody that's going to have value. And they're experts. And all you got to go is go to exptoolkit.com/growth. And you can find out who your director of growth is and click on the button and get on a phone call with them and just start the conversation. Hey, I'm thinking about this person. Like, help me out here. And this is a paid person that gets paid to go in there and help you recruit. Did you know that? Do you know that they're sitting there waiting for your phone call? Waiting to, like New Jersey, you've got a director of growth. Like they're sitting there waiting to help you. And they'll strategize. Hey, listen, I've got this guy named Martin. He's been with ABC for 10 years. I like him. He likes me, but I don't know how to like get that conversation going. Right? And they might just go through and say, well, what does he like? What does he do? Let's look at his business, stuff like that. Let's see where we can add some value. And with the VP who's brainstorming with you, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. I myself use our person, Josie Baez, all the time. And by the way, I think she's got promoted. I think she's like multi-states now. I don't know her. I can't keep up with her promotion. But like having someone like that who actually knows all the competitors and knows exactly how to talk to them about like how we can be of value to them, you got to have them on your side. If you don't do anything else, schedule a time with your director of growth and let them know in 2026 you're planning on adding 100 people in the organization, 1,000 people in the organization, whatever your goal is. Let them know and say, hey, listen, can I count on you to being a partner? That alone. Today, I've got 2 scheduled calls. I've got a call with Ben, and I've got a call with somebody else where they're bringing someone on for me to talk to them about EXP. I'd love to do that for you. I'd love to be that value for you. I'd love for you to hit your goals and have a residual income. I would love for you to be able to say, you know what? I make more in residual income than I've ever made in any other business in my life. I have no idea how to contact our director of growth for this. Okay, Didi, I'm gonna help you with that. We're gonna do that in a second. I'll pull it up on the screen. But I can tell you, um, there's a movement in the market right now. I can tell you, as an organization, we actually added more people last month than we have had in 6 months. Why is that? Because agents right now are curious about what their future looks like, and they're looking to latch on to winners. So let me pull that up. I'd love to get somebody who's recently had a win or has got something that's been working for a while right now that they've recently, found themselves engaging with people. Like I'd love to hear somebody share a win. I didn't start that way because I was just super psyched to share with you about building an empire. But does anybody have a win while I pull up this the resources for Didi?
I have a little win, Gil.
Share with me.
I recently made contact with a doctor in the neighborhood, and turns out he likes to invest. He just sold a multi-unit mixed-use property of 17 units with retail, and he's looking to invest. So I'm signing him on. I'm actually sending him the paperwork after this call. At least to view one property, start with that. But I'm so excited because he knows what he wants, and it'll be my first investment or investor client as a licensed agent. So I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it.
That's awesome. By the
Yeah,
way, some of our best agent attractors are not EXP realtors. We've got a lot of people who are just licensed agents that are on who are just on the residual income portion, and they don't actually they don't do deals. So you never know. You just
that's
explain to
amazing.
them, and they might be able to attract some people. All right, so I wanted to show you guys too. Maybe you guys don't know about this, but EXP done an incredible job of just bringing all of our tools in one space. So I'm going to share a screen with you guys, and then I'm going to get Dee Dee her answer. So the new EXP toolkit, basically they decided, you know what, we're going to create even larger toolkit where all of our toolkits will be in one spot. And this is an interesting thing to show someone the organizational level of our company, right? So here's your agent state resource guide. Probably, Didi, your answer is going to be in multiple different spots here, but every state has a resource guide of people they can contact and get assistance inside there. If you get an assistant, and like in our state, they have to have access. There's a button for that. Brand and marketing, the buyer representation, Canva, co-sponsoring. These are all toolkits that allows you to go deep in any one of these conversations. You want to learn about CRM choice right there, the 4 different CRMs we've got. If they're interested in commercial, they're interested in luxury, blah, 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 whatever it is, it's in there, right? So I'm going to go into growth and attraction because that's what we're talking about today, which the short link for that is exptoolkit.com/growth. If you go ahead of here, you're going to see everything is a compilation of all our things with agent attraction. And you're going to see a button right here called connect with your growth team. It's right there. You'll click on there and you'll click that button, start growing, and it'll link you to your state representative. Actually, it'll initially listen you to somebody who'll answer the phone for you and then bring you to that person.
It
If you
can't get
want to,
easier than that.
yeah, if you want to do a live strategy session, you've got somebody on demand right then and there. You can press live strategy session, and you'll have somebody who'll be able to get on Zoom with you right there with the recruit. If you just want to be able to talk to somebody and say, "Hey, I just want to talk to somebody, help, like about helping me recruit," you can go right there. If you haven't taken fast track coaching, which I have not done so yet, this is where you would go there. It's kind of like fast cap, but for agent attraction. It's a 6-week course, 3 days a week, and they focus on agent attraction. If you really want to level up 2026, I would go there. If you're sitting with somebody who really wants to learn about, like, hey, what's the value of this agent attraction? You can use the rev share calculator, kind of figure out, like, what kind of organization it takes to build a $500,000 organization, right? And these layers tend to grow exponentially. So for most people, they're going to see whatever you have in your front line, you're going to have 2 or 3 times that in your second line, and it continues to grow down. I've actually saw that in my organization. Almost everybody that I see that has a big organization does that. But let me just kind of zero this all out, just to kind of show you guys, if you haven't played with this numbers yet. Because sometimes, like, jumping to those numbers seems like that's impossible. And for most people, like, let's just think about, could we get like their car payment paid or something of that nature? So we're going to start with first year, we bring in 10 people. And let's say 15. So I have an organization of 25 people. Nope, that's a lot more than that. 25 people. So 10 people that bring in 15 people. That's $34,000 there. And by the way, this is with them only selling 4 homes a year. So if you could bring in one person almost a month, right? And you help them bring in some people, and you just have level 1 and level 2, that's $34,000. If you found yourself bringing in 2 people a month and you brought in 24 people, oops, I went back 1 page, 24 people next year, and those people brought in, let's say, 30, but nobody recruited to the next line, you got 70,000. I'm going to put in, those people brought in 40. You're at 100,000 from the 24 you brought in. It doesn't take a huge organization to start seeing the numbers up. And by the way, if these people are more like cappers, and let's say they're doing 8 deals a year, you're almost at 200 grand. That's what building people looks like. And by the way, again, that's on, you can either go to revsharecalculator.exprealty.com, or you can go to EXP Toolkits and kind of find your way to that spot. I can tell you, the first time I ever saw one of those calculators, it blew my mind. And I sat there for probably hours, way too long, just playing out all my dreams. Just thinking, what if I could do this? What if I could do that? What if I could do this? What if I could do that? Well, this person can help me do this. And I just kept on building it out. And I started thinking about people that weren't even with the organization yet. Like, what if I could? And it was very powerful uh, opportunity. Coming for me, kind of like akin to what my wife does. My wife has been doing vision boards for the last decade, and the clearer you can see your vision, the faster it's going to materialize. So we've only got a few minutes left on this call. I want to make sure that we um, have some discussion. So if you have any questions, if you had a win we didn't get to share, I'd love to be able to address it, kind of open forum. How can I help you guys? Go
Gil,
ahead. Hey, Sam.
time I meet and sit with someone, I get to the point of, okay, let's go to the next call with someone else. And I got to the second call, but then it feels like there is nothing in there. It feel like nothing was done with the second call neither. So I believe I'm a closer, but I think I'm a closer for real estate deals. I'm a nurture. I have people that they come to me, they're around me, but I don't know how to get to the next level.
Yeah, it's going to happen with
I'm
questions.
stuck.
Questions is your linchpin right now. So if there's one thing that you can do that's going to open up opportunity, it's what if questions, right? So, what if questions allow you to imagine what would life be if I could expose you to something else, right? So, hey, I know that you're looking to grow your listing business, right? I know you're looking to open up your volume. I know you're looking to become, a top agent in your market. I know you're looking to do like, what if I could introduce you to somebody who's actually done that, and we can get on a call together and let's grow each other's businesses up. I was like, it won't cost you anything. We'll get on a Zoom. I've got a friend, and just introduce somebody like that. See, one thing I've learned about you, Sandra, is you are a pretty good nurturer in real estate. You have a great community. I am actually a bit jealous with how big your community is. But sometimes when you have a big community, you try to keep face with the community so you don't feel like you're pushing anybody. And sometimes they're waiting for you to push. I've actually had people tell me, um, you never asked me to join. And I'm like, that's impossible. I didn't ask you to join. Impossible, but it's probably true. We forget, as we're talking to people, we're helping people. It's like you just got to take it to another level and see what's that. So, like, Sandy, I will tell you, like, I'd love to get on a three-way call with somebody that you want to. If like you got one person that you'd like to bring into it, like, get me on a call. And it's going to be a introduction call that's going to be focused only on how I can help them grow their business. We probably won't talk about EXP much unless they want to. And even if they want to, I probably blow it off a little bit until I really feel like I've served them a little bit, right? So those calls start like this. Hey, I'd like to introduce you to one of my valued partners, my mentor, my friend, my coach, whatever you want to introduce me about. This is Ellen. Ellen's an amazing human being. I've known her for 3 years. I met her at this event. I just met her at the event, whatever. It's like, and what I can tell is that she really wants to grow her business and she's excited about helping consumers. And I just figure that we can get you guys connected and, something good will come from that. And that's it. Then I'm going to ask him about their business. I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask a lot of questions until I can figure out, okay, well, I got a couple of angles on how I can help serve them. And I'm going to be a selfless service leader. I'm just give them, right? And I'll give them access to my Dropbox sometimes. Here's my scripts. Here's my like I had somebody on a call a couple weeks ago who was working with it as a on a commercial lease and never done one before. I was like, well, here, tell you what, why don't I give you one of my blank LOIs? And here's my attorney. Tell them that you talk to me and ask them a few questions, and they'll write the contract for you. This way, you're not in any liability for you, and they'll even do the closing for you. They won't charge you for the contract. I was like, and I gave them so much massive value and gave them so much clarity about how to do that one deal. The first thing they're thinking of is like, well, if I can get so much clarity and so much vision and so much like knowledge in one call, imagine if I would have joined the company. And it goes unsaid, right? That I should be able to provide them with more one-on-one value in a short period of time that my goal is to try to get them addicted. I don't know if you guys know this, but Tony Robbins came up with this theory, and it's called the 6 human needs. And everyone has a human need. And what he says is what great organizations do is they get you addicted to at least 3 of them. In every relationship you've ever been, you've had 3 of these needs met. Even if you didn't feel the 100% fulfilled, you had 3 needs fulfilled. And I'm gonna have to go very quickly with this. The the first need is certainty.
Yeah.
Am I certain? Am I in a relationship, or am I in a place that works, right? And when they see EXP, they see how many people are winning at a high level, and they find out that out of 50 states, 47 of the states, either the number 1 agent or the number 2 agent or the number 1 team is with EXP. It gives them certainty that they're in the right place. This is where pros go to grow. Uncertainty is like, man, these guys are having fun. They're doing all these things. EXP Community Cares Day is coming up. They're doing like, they're all doing things in their local markets. It's like they're changing stuff. They're doing contests all the times. There's like innovation happening. There's new CRMs. Like there's uncertainty. It's not just lame old same stuff. If you ever worked for a mom and pop brokerage, it's blah, 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 blah. Nothing changes. And I can tell you, I've seen some of the best mom and pop brokerage. They just don't have enough resources to be able to offer what EXP. It's an unfair fight. It would be like a new store trying to compete against Amazon. That's who we are. We've got all these tools. Like we're able to pay people in seconds and put it in their bank account. As an old broker, I'll be like, well, let me go check my bank account, make sure the funds have cleared. I should be able to get your check by Monday. Now we laugh at that. It's almost like that's not even possible. But do you know that 70% of all brokerages operate that way, where they have to wait till the check clears because money is scarce? Like we don't even think about that. Like, hey, I closed. Where's my money? Like we don't even leave. We leave the title company knowing that the DA was done. That money will be in my account. I'm not worried about that. Nobody worries about that with EXP. It's not a problem unless you didn't do your documents, and that's your own fault. But like, that's not a fear of ours. We've got a system for them to build wealth. We've got systems for them to invest. We've got systems for them to get leads. We've got systems that solve their problems. We give them certainty and uncertainty. Those are the 2 first leads. The next one is significance. This is an amazing one because in many brokerages, they can get lost and they don't get any significance. They don't get recognized. Like the one thing EXP does when they do a rally is everybody's going to get recognized. They're going to make sure that people stand up on stage. They're going to give opportunities for people to share. If you're doing something great, you're going to get recognized. You're going to get pulled out. You're going to be speaking at EXPCon in not too long, right? Significance, celebration. Sometimes you get significance in a good way or a bad way, right? Sometimes you could be in a brokerage and you're not making any money, but you're getting significance, but so you're staying there, but you're not growing. That happens to a lot of people, especially smaller brokerages where they feel like that they're all friends. So they're getting significance, but they're not getting paid. The next one is love. Love's a very powerful one, right? So when you have admiration or love for someone like that, you'll stick through something even if it's not healthy. The 5th one is growth. Even if you're not making money, but you feel like you're growing, you feel like, hey, you know what? I'm not there yet, but I can see that I'm on the right trajectory. You'll stay, or you'll change, right? And the last one's contribution, right? Contribution. Am I doing something that matters? Am I contributing to a greater cause? Like with the EXP Cares thing, like I'm super excited to be involved in Make-A-Wish, and we do Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that. Like these are things that are important, right? Did you guys know that EXP owns a 501(c)(3)? Do you know that when people have tragedies that are with EXP, the EXP has a extend a hand, and we donate to families that have had issues, and help them get back on track. In fact, if you know an agent in an organization that's had a tragedy or something like that, you should let EXP Cares know and see if we can do something for them. So those are the 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, growth, and connection, growth and contribution. And in my own mind, EXP does 3 to 4 of those for me anyway. They certainly have me on a growth. They have me on contribution. They give me significance. I certainly get some love. I see certainty and I see uncertainty. When you can provide just 3 of those to somebody, it becomes magnetizing. People talk about it all the time. I don't want to chase people. I want to attract them with love, attract them with significance. Man, congratulations. Hey, I saw you did an open house. How'd that go? Right? Hey, man, I know you feel like you're not at the spot where you are, but you're doing the right things. Can I make a suggestion on something that I did that really changed my business? Yeah, man, tell me. What'd you do? One of the things I did was just like I spent time working on my business and putting a plan every single week. I was on this Zoom with this one dude, and he showed me how to create a 1-page business plan. And you know that I had never had a 1-page business plan before that day. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna follow my plan. I'm just gonna follow the plan. And I started doing dollar productive activities every single day, just like my coach showed me. And within 2 to 3 weeks, I was out of my funk. And it changed my business forever. I could never be that agent that I used to be. I was like, would it be valuable if I introduced you to and showed you how to get a 1-page plan and put yourself in a position to win? Would it be valuable to you if I put you in a position to sit down with somebody and we'll get you on a Zoom and we'll just ask questions together about how we can dominate next year? Doesn't have to be, hey, join EXP. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When Brian Carruthers wrote that book, Building an Empire, it was clear for me to see that 300,000 human beings were being served at a higher level. It wasn't that they were being recruited, that they seemed valued, that they were seen, that they were celebrated, that they were getting significance, that they were getting contribution and growth, right? And you can start that on a small scale with 1 or 2 people that you bring in, right? And you continue to build from there. I hope that you guys take the message. I hope you take the time after this call to start reaching out to people and lighting them up. Take a moment to fill somebody else's cup today. And if nothing else, you'll feel the joy of lighting somebody up and being a spirit of love for them. Go ahead, Didi.
Gil, yes, thank you. This comes at a good time because I want to reach out to an agent who has a good team. He's older and he's in a season in his life where he's not as mobile as he used to be. It takes a lot of effort for him to go into the office and do all this stuff. And I've already kind of warmed up our conversation, but I would like to invite him as an explorer to EXPCon. My question is, when we invite someone as an explorer that can't be signed on with EXP already, how do we have to have them stick by us, or do we let them roam, or do we guide them? Because my first one was
Great
last year,
question.
so I have a good idea. I mean, do we let them go and get signed on by somebody else, or do we,
Yeah,
we
I
want to let
will
them
tell you,
explore, right?
I can tell you what I was done to me as well as what I see works, right? First things first, before we go to the event, I go through the table of contents and I'm like, hey man, like these classes fill up. Like, what classes do you want to sign up for? Right. And I tell them, I was like, hey, listen, you don't have to go to all the classes I go to. Like, I want you to explore this. And I do let them go on their own. I do. I just make sure that I connect with them early and late every single day. Now, you have to know your audience too. Like, if you're around a D personality, they're going to want to look by themselves. If they're in an S personality, they're going to want you to kind of handhold them. So that first day, I kind of get a feel for what they want because it's multiple days, right? And I say, hey, listen, I'm going to go to this class. You're going to go to that class? Cool. Let's connect afterwards. And then can you download what you learned? And I'll share what you learned. Man, this has been great today, right? And I just kind of go with that. But I don't stay with them 100%. I try to introduce them as many people as possible, right? Because I'm gonna use your energy. I'm gonna be like, hey, this is Dee Dee from New Jersey, blah blah. If you ever had to deal in Jersey, here's your girl right here. Hey, here's Sanders from Southwest Florida. Like, I'm gonna introduce as many people as energy because people get excited about that, right? Man, like I'm being introduced, I'm being lifted up. I mean, this is incredible. So I don't stay with them like I'm stuck to them like that. I kind of just let them go and I kind of just feed them and feed them and feed them, right? I make sure every night if there's something going on, I'm gonna invite them. Now some people like
Check
I
in.
invite,
Right.
yeah, just to check in. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, I don't really feel like doing anything. Totally cool, man. I'll catch up with you more." Yeah, I don't try to like be everything for them because that's not who I am normally anyway. So I just want to be consistent who the person I am in real life. So I'm not going to be just all over them the entire time smothering.
That's perfect. I heard, I wanted your opinion because someone says you better stick with them or somebody's going to snatch them. And I'm like, well, I'm inviting them. I'm sure
Yeah,
they'll remember me at the end of the day, but it's nice what you
yeah,
mentioned. Check in the morning, check in the afternoon, maybe do some classes together if they're interested. Have them explore, maybe have lunch together, go over notes. That's a fantastic idea. What did you learn?
yeah,
Anything
yeah,
cool or whatever? That's not perfect. Thank you, Gil.
yeah.
That's
I can
really
tell
helpful.
you what Carlos did for me and what I see other people do that win is they make sure they introduce them to leadership. Right? If there's an opportunity to like grab, a Glenn Sanford or a big hitter in the company or something like that, and just introduce them, like that's a big deal.
And they do roam around, they walk around, so it's easy to grab them.
Yeah,
So thank you.
remarkably, yes, remarkably, yep. You will see them walking around for sure. Take a picture with them, the whole 9 yards, super cool. And they do special events for Explorer passes. So there's also that kind of stuff too, where if they want to find out more information about Explorer, it's like it'll be on their thing and they can actually go on their own, like so, and ask questions. Yep.
Oh, I didn't
All right,
know
guys.
that. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. You guys got some work to do. Our job is to lift some people up, to be the lighthouse for them, to help them see that this is going to be the most amazing year. If you guys haven't heard my theory about 2026, it's a record year. Everything goes up in 2026. Stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up, EXP goes up. It's a winning year. We're going to win after win, record after record after record after record. Do it with people. It's way more fun when you got a crew, right? So take some time after this call, nurture your list, connect with people, invite people, and be more for them so they can have more. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.